Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for being a part of this class. Today, we're going to talk about that pivotal moment when you decide you want change in your life. What this is going to look like, I'm going to teach for about 15 minutes. I'm going to open the floor for questions and then if anybody wants live coaching, so for questions, just write that in the Q&A. It's on the bottom of your screen. If you want to come on for live coaching, raise your hand also on the bottom of your screen, and I'll bring you on live. I'll stop the recording and bring you on live for that. And we can just talk through whatever's going on in your life right now as this applies. So if any of this is exciting for you or you want to go deeper as well, you can schedule some time with me for, as a new client, I'll do a free session with you to talk about what we can discover of how this could work for you personally in digging into this subject. So let's talk about that pivotal moment, that moment in time where you decide you want change. Usually it looks like this. I've had enough. I am done with feeling and I want this, right? So it can look like I am sick of being broke. I'm going to get my finances together. So it looks like the statement of I want change and a decree of the change, right? I'm tired of feeling tired. I'm going to get my health in order. I'm done with the stress of procrastination. I'm going to start getting things done. I am tired of blowing up, flying off the handle. I'm going to stop yelling. Now, the nice part of that is the recognition for change. The challenging part of that is in each of those examples, that change is pretty vague. I'm going to stop yelling. Okay. Well, I mean, in every situation or just in the situations where I'm actually causing pain to my family members or coworkers, am I going to blanket stop procrastinating? Last week, I procrastinated on 8 issues. This week, I'm going to procrastinate on none. Does it look like just a switch flipping? We'd love for that to be the case, right? I used to think of it like a suit. Think of like a uni, like a single suit. I would imagine that I am zipping off the old suit, the old behavior, the old way of being. And I'm just zipping on this new suit. I'm just like creating a new life just with a zip. I've got on a new suit. I got a new way of being. I am a new me, right? But we know that's not how it works. This is funny because just this week I did this. For years, I'm very sensitive to coffee. So for years, I was like, I'm the person who always drinks coffee with food. I never get up and have a cup of coffee and go on with my day. And hours later, I drink coffee with food because I get up and drink a glass of water. And so when I would see people's food journals and I see this cup of coffee, and then hours later, I would always say, hey, why don't you try this? Eating a little bit of food with that. Somehow, about a year ago, my husband started getting up early. So he would come down while I was doing my morning process and he'd make coffee. He'd offer me a cup and I would take it. And then hours later, we'd eat breakfast. So all of a sudden, I had become this person that I had been advocating against for years. So this week, Mel Robbins says, you really should drink coffee with food. Try doing it this way. And I was like, you know what? I'm going back to that, Mel. I hear you. And so I decreed I am not going to drink coffee without food. I'm not going to drink coffee in the morning. I'm going to wait till breakfast. with the family. So what do you think happened? The next morning, I get up early, I go down and I'm like, I am not drinking coffee. And then my husband comes down and he makes the coffee, brings me a cup, and I drink a cup of coffee. The decree was vague. It left out a lot of details. It left out how I was feeling. It left out the obstacles. It left out why I wanted to do it differently. Well, I wasn't connecting with anything other than I should do it a different way. It didn't work for me in that step. And so I want to talk to you about what is going on in that. I want to talk to you about steps you can take and just the understanding of where you are when you're in that pivotal change. And then the first thing you do is the same thing you always do. The first thing you do is not change. Why does that happen? So if you go back to that pivotal moment, I'm sick of, I'm done with, this is the last time. Tell me what emotion you feel. So go ahead and put it in the Q&A. What emotion do you feel when you're ready for change and you've had enough? You're at that point where it's just like the last step. This has happened for me a ton in my life. So I'm seeing frustration. I'm seeing shame. That one's a big one for me. Disgust, right? You're done with the way it is now. You are disgusted with it. You're shameful about it. I hate this about me, or I hate what the result of this creates in my life. That feeling of disgust or shame or hatred or any kind of self-abuse is not going to create this beautiful new action. If you jump to that first step, when you make the decree and then I drank the coffee, what was I feeling it in that moment? I was feeling disappointment in myself. Just another version of the shame I might have felt before. I wasn't really feeling shame for this change. I was kind of like, yeah, who the heck am I? That's not who I am. It was like a cutoff, right? It's like, that's not me. That's not who I am. It's not who I want to be. But then I go right back into doing the thing, and I immediately, sorry, I hear my dog chewing under my feet. I'm like, what are you chewing? I think about that feeling of disappointment that I didn't do it differently. It's not far from that feeling of disappointment that I'm not who I am. I'm doing actions that aren't really me, right? I want to offer you that the quality of your action is determined by your emotions. It's determined by the thoughts that you're having about yourself and the emotions that those create. In that emotion, you take a certain action. So if you think about something totally unrelated, I'm going on a trip. I'm really excited to go on a trip. And in that, I'm pumped. I'm imagining the different experiences I might have. And I'm getting ready for that trip in an excited energy. Conversely, if I'm going on a trip and I'm dreading that trip, then when I'm getting ready for that, I'm going to be focusing on not having I don't have the right thing to wear. I don't have the money to be spending to go on this trip. I'm focusing on the things that tell me you shouldn't be going on this trip. So the actions I take are like sluggish and like avoiding. That's when I'm like not packing because I think I don't have the right thing to wear. So whenever you're having a feeling, the actions that you take in that feeling are either are qualified by the feeling. It's either excitement and excited actions follow, or it's dread and no actions follow. I don't get ready for the trip because I shouldn't be going. So when you're looking at your decree of what you should or will be doing differently, when you feel shame, when you feel disgust or disappointment, or just like a cut off, then you're not connecting with the part of yourself that you want to go to. You're not connecting with your future self. You're connecting with the past that you don't like. When you make that decree and then you immediately may have a slip up, or you immediately do the same thing you've always been doing, you stay in that emotion and you stay in that quality of action, which is what you don't want. So what the decree doesn't address is how you feel when you make it or when you're doing the action you don't like. It doesn't focus on the skill that you need to build to become a different person or do a different thing. It doesn't look at the obstacles in your way and how you're feeling in the obstacles. And it doesn't look at options to do it messy, right? To like fumble around a little at first and be okay with that and keep moving forward. So if you're looking at the emotions, let's break that down one by one. So let's look at the emotions. If you're looking at the money issue, right? I'm tired of being broke. What emotion would you need to not be broke anymore? Maybe clarity would be an emotion. Listen, I'm going to be the first to tell you that happy-go-lucky isn't what you have to find. You don't have to find great and motivated and excited emotions to do things. But you do have to be intentional about what you're looking for. What's going to keep driving you? Excitement is not going to keep driving you because we are designed to not be excited every moment of every day. Our bodies are constantly looking for equilibrium. So it wants to calm you down when you're excited. It wants to bring you up when you're down. So what are the emotions that are going to keep you level? Clarity. Am I clear about where my money is coming in and where my money is going? If I'm looking at my health, where maybe I've declared I'm tired of being tired and I'm going to get my nutrition and fitness together, dialed in, maybe determined, because I'm going to need to be determined to start being consistent in different choices. If I'm looking at procrastination, maybe focused is an emotion that will get me there. If I know where, what I need to do and how much time it's going to take, then I'm not like squirreling down all the different distractions and rabbit holes and different things. If I'm focused, I'm able to understand and get clear and move through my day without avoiding and messing it up and being late. If it's anger, maybe in control is an emotion. I'm not going to always feel calm, but am I in control? That might be useful. So what are the skills I need to build? If I'm figuring out my money, then I'm going to need an evaluation system. I'm going to need to know, I'm going to build a relationship with where my money is coming in and where it's going out. If I want to, maybe I can make more money here. Maybe I can release less money here, right? So, but I have to know it. I have to build that clarity by knowing where is my money? So I'm going to build the skill of knowing my money. Then I'm going to make decisions based on what I know, not based on avoiding, not based on any other emotion. If I'm looking at my health, I'm going to build the skill of consistency. I'm going to be looking at my movement and how maybe I need to increase my flexibility. Maybe I need to increase my steps. Maybe I need to increase my strength and bone density. So I need to understand what foods feel like in my body so that I can make choices to feel good. This food gives me energy. This food makes me feel like garbage. Where is that? If it doesn't mean you have to be allergic or always teetotaling, I don't have to never eat ice cream again to be making better decisions about my sugar intake. So understanding how your body feels and getting consistent, those are skills. Take a bite of food. An hour later, how does that feel? Or eat a meal. An hour later, how does that feel? You feel better? You feel worse? It's just becoming aware. If I'm working on procrastination, I'm going to build the skill of understanding the needs of the day. I'm going to understand how long things take and when I need to move to the next step in order to not be late. I need to find out what's realistic to accomplish in a day so I'm not feeling overwhelmed. I need to build the skill of knowing what emotions I'm not wanting to feel. What am I avoiding by avoiding action? If I'm in anger, I'm building the skill of pausing and assessing. What am I in control of? What is totally out of my control? And what solutions can I come to? Because when all I'm showing is anger, I'm not in control of, I'm not assessing where I am. I'm just acting out my frustration. So the next part of it is obstacles. If you go back to my silly little coffee thing, the obstacle in my way was not big. It's the feeling of I want to connect with my husband in the morning when we sit there silently next to each other. Coffee is a way that we do that. Is it necessary? No. I don't actually connect with you by putting a liquid in my body. I can connect with me by doing that. But I could just as easily drink water. I could just as easily drink hot water. I could just as easily drink tea. I could drink nothing and just sit there. I could also have a banana with my coffee and solve that there are options, right? So what was I feeling? The fear of missing out of the connection seems so silly, but it was true. That is what I wanted. I was connecting with my husband, and I was afraid of not connecting in a way or placing some barrier on it. Can I get through that? Yes, I can. I can by connecting with what I want in my future self and my future body. And so what did I do later in the week? I started eating a little something when I have my coffee with him on the sofa. What a great solution. Two birds, right? I get to drink the coffee, which I have come to really enjoy. And I'm connecting with which has nothing to do with it, but I'm also just having a nibble of something to eat, which helps me feel better with the coffee. So when you're looking at those obstacles, what are you needing to think differently about in your change? And how is that going to feel? What emotion are you going to feel? So for me, I needed to think I'm not missing out. Or the feeling of I am connecting with him. Let me focus on him, not the coffee. That the thought of I have options led me to go grab a banana and some walnuts instead of disappointment in myself for doing something I didn't want to do. So just to recap, when we have a pivotal change moment, that's just the first step. That pivotal change moment and the decree of what is about to change in your life is a pivotal moment. It is the first step. It's the step of many. The next steps are looking at how you feel in the moment. It's probably a negative emotion mixed with a little bit of empowerment, right? I'm ready for change is also exciting. But if you don't identify the emotion that you're getting away from, you're going to keep finding it. So identifying the emotion that you feel in the beginning, in the action that you don't want, and identifying the emotion that you want to go towards. Am I looking for more clarity? Am I looking for more control? Am I looking for more consistency? So identifying that is going to help you go there. What skill are you building in this new decree? In this change that you're making? It is not that you are becoming a different energy. You can, but you have to build a skill to create that. You don't just zip it off and zip it back on. You have to build the skill to do differently, to be differently. So what skill? What are your obstacles that are going to be in your way? They become your to-do list to start to overcome them. And how are you going to do it messy? How are you going to still allow for the old feelings, because they're still going to be there. They're ingrained in as a habit, and keep moving just a little bit further, just 1%, one every day, just a little bit further. You're just moving along a spectrum. So when you think about change, tell me in the Q&A, how does change feel to you? What's the dominant energy? Is it empowerment, or is it disappointment in the other side? Are you focused on where you were, or are you focused on where you're going? Both. Yeah, makes sense, right? You're on the fence. When you decide to change, you are literally on the fence. You haven't made the change yet. You're looking at your past and saying, this doesn't feel good. That is clarity. So you're going towards clarity. You're looking at the future and considering how it could be different. That's exciting. That's empowering. I can make change. Those are great emotions to lead your change. What have you found when you're in these pivotal moments? How long does it take for you to actually make the change? Has anybody experienced the trying the change and not making it? Everybody, yes. Yes, we all have, right? I mean, it is very normal for change to be difficult. It doesn't mean it has to be hard. And I urge you not to go into that thought as this is going to be hard. You can acknowledge there will be lots of obstacles, but those obstacles are opportunities for you to build skills. That's just your list of skills to build when you're becoming the new version of you. It is all very possible. But when you are vague, your brain is going to take you into your established patterns. If you are not very detailed about what you want, your brain finds it much easier to stay with where you are. And so you're going to have to break that cycle with awareness, with this deciding of where you want to go. And your emotions are like your little flags. Oh, you're heading in that direction. That feels terrible. You're sticking with the same. That's disappointing. Oh, it feels a little bit better. That's exciting, right? I go to exciting very easily, but truthfully, there's a deeper spectrum rather than just disappointment or excitement. There's a whole range of discovery in those positive and the negative emotions. Part of what you're going to find is you are going to have to feel some negative emotions and be okay with them to get through to the other side to make the change. I see you, disappointment. You're telling me that this isn't okay right now. Instead of that leading to shame, this isn't okay, I'm not okay. Can it lead to, well, what would feel better? Let me try this. Let me try that. Let me try this. Let me try that. And now all of a sudden I've got this to-do list of different shirts to try on to decide what feels better. You may have to try on a couple of things. What have you felt like are the greatest obstacles to your change? One person says, the people around me who are used to what I used to do. This is a big one for me. I remember I went through a nutrition-based program, and I was making all of these beautiful changes. They were very much around the habits around food, um, and actually digging into like the couple of steps before you eat and how you feel before, what's happening before you eat in the decisions that you make. Anyway, it was a very powerful program. And then I went to the beach with my family and it all came flooding back. All the things that I had always done and all the ways that we always were just right there, so clear. And it was like all the like chugging up the hill I had done, it was like a landslide. Except I still had awareness. I still had the solutions that had helped me. I could slide and then I could climb back up, except this time I could climb a little faster. The next time I could climb a little faster and climb a little faster. And so I didn't slide as down as far. And then, and all of a sudden I'm finding myself back up on the top of the mountain. And with all this awareness of how the people around me were holding the space. So what I want to offer to you is the people around you are in their own experience. Just like my husband isn't drinking my coffee. He doesn't feel the warmth in his body. We're not actually connecting through the coffee. Those people aren't in your experience of the change that you want. They're in their own experience of the change that you want. So they're having a human experience along with this visceral experience you're having. So it's whatever response they have is about them. It's not about you. And you don't need to prove anything to them because they can't feel what you're feeling. You can't do it for them because you're the one doing it. You're the one feeling the emotions. You're the one taking the actions. So when you think about the people around you, you can communicate to them. That makes it easier, right? This is what I'm feeling, and this is what I'm excited about. And this is what it would look like if you were supportive. Be very specific for them even. And that will help you get you there sooner. Thank you for that insight, because the people around us, we are pack animals. We are really in tune with the people around us. So it is important to us, whether we like it or not, what people around us think about us. So that clarity in communication is huge and powerful. Thank you for that. We are at time. And I want to invite you, if you like this work, if it's interesting, if it's opened up something for you, go to the about this page. There is a calendar link that you can schedule some time. It'll schedule time for us that it's complimentary if you're a new client. And we can look at how life coaching can help you with whatever change you are making. Thank you so much for being here. I love this space. I applaud you for being a part of it. I really appreciate your energy. And let's do it some more.